up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and I am back to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15. Child, I don't know what episode, but we got the right description down below. But y'all, this episode, much like last episode, was kind of giving me filler episode again. And I am just really tired of the Marlo of it all. But we're going to get into it. Let's get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming here with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we coursing on.
Y'all, so I have been trying to get on this live for the last hour or so. So I apologize for everybody that was waiting for me to get on. It's just every time I try to do something come up and I got to push the time back. So I said, we are going to get on this live right now. Okay, we are making it happen. And we're going to talk about Summer House after this. And then we're going to talk about the Martha's Vineyard Summer House a little later this evening. I will post the image for that. But y'all, just kind of diving into the last episode so we can get into this episode. You know, it's really giving a whole lot of everybody, you know, let's just hate on Candy. We don't have nothing to talk about, so let's just talk about Candy. Candy wasn't even in the current episode, and she was still getting dragged by Marlo. It's too much. It's like I really want them to revisit whether Marlo should be on this show or not. I mean, really, as the people's on Twitter is saying, she need to go home and leave. Even Miss what's her face? Hold on, y'all. I got some pictures to show y'all. I didn't have a chance to load them up. Monyetta Shaw. So Monyetta Shaw posted, okay, so on Twitter, Monyetta and Marlo have been kind of going back and forth. So I'm going to show y'all some of the stuff that they've been going back and forth talking about. So with some of their recent tweets, Monyetta tweeted first, "Cute pic, I heart Marlo. We came to support you. I can recognize and salute 10 long years of," hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go back to the beginning. Matter of fact, let me just find the post on Instagram. Because, child, they have just been going back and forth for quite some time. And apparently there was a photo of Monyetta and Marlo taking a picture together. And so Marlo was just trying to be shady all day and basically talking about Monyetta not having a peach and so on and so forth. And Monyetta basically called her peach a canned peach. I'm like, oh my God, y'all are just doing entirely too much. So Monyetta says, "Here we go again. The canned peach. I heart Marlo talking out both sides of her neck. Always behind my back, never to my face. I don't respect that. You need to worry about getting that nasty hack cough you've had for the past 2 years checked out." Oh, baby, not that nasty hack cough. So Marlo responds, "Canned peach. You have a family, juicy history with a celebrity ex and a husband, and you still didn't get a peach. Make it make sense, sis." Okay. So then Monyetta says, "Actually, Marlo, I agree with you. I am way more qualified to be a housewife than you. It doesn't make sense at all. Thanks for that." I agree. Monyetta, while she's not as problematic as Marlo is, she definitely deserves a peach way more than Marlo does because she fits more of the criteria. First of all, she is actually a housewife. She actually is a wife, okay? Not necessarily a housewife where she doesn't work or anything like that, but she actually has a husband. Marlo doesn't. And really, Marlo don't really have nothing to talk about. All I see her ever doing is trying to come for Candy. So then Marlo says, it doesn't. Maybe you're lacking in performance. Get your own identity and off your master's leashes, K and K. And maybe then you could roam the park free and dig up a peach. But keep it cute. You're still a fan, just like you were here at your my peach party. Maybe I will throw you one next, love. So here's a picture of, if you can, off the daggone circle glare, y'all. I don't know if you can see it, but go on the shade room. This is Monyetta, Shaw, Marlo, and some other lady. I don't know who this is in the picture. and she went to go and support her. Okay. So, Monietta says, cute pic, I heart Marlo. We came to support you. I can recognize and salute 10 long years of backbreaking hard work of being Nene Leakes do boy to finally get that charity canned peach. Difference is, I'm a real housewife that's been connected and respected. No show, no cap. RHOA. I was like, wow, okay, so you did get her to get sis together. And Nene was in the comments talking about, so how I get in it. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I guess Monietta and Marlo, they are just not getting along this season. And it's going to show at some point. So, y'all, we're going to briefly go through episode 3, A Star is Born, and then we're going to get into the most recent episode, episode 4. So, episode 3 started off where Sheree, Marlo, and Sanya got together talking about BravoCon. Again, Marlo was sitting there talking about Candy again, and they're drumming up all this old stuff about her talking about, Candy's mother talking about Todd and whatnot. And, I just really don't understand Sanya sitting up here basically like helping to nurture this foolishness with Marlo and Sheree trying to pretty much come for Candy. And I'm like, Sanya, you hang out with Candy the most, actually. I don't ever see Sanya hanging out with Marlo and Sheree when they're not taping. You going on family vacations with Candy and all this stuff, but then you are seen constantly and seen talking trash about Candy with these girls. Now she tries to stay on to the side and not really say much. But when you sometimes, my grandfather always used to say, sometimes when you don't say nothing, that's saying a lot too. So don't even be in the scene or hanging out with people that are doing stuff like this. I just really don't understand Sanya and her motives because it's just I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. So then they talk about Martell really quickly and Sheree's conversation with Kenya at the fulfillment center. And, Marlo even admits, she was like, at first I wasn't really feeling Martell, but now I kind of like him. Hopefully everything works out for you guys. And Kenya is probably just hating. And I'm like, girl, ain't nobody hating on Martell Holt. Please and thank you. Okay. Not at all. So, y'all, if you're just coming in, we are just kind of backtracking a little bit, episode 3, because I actually did the review over on my girl Sean's channel when we did our panel last week, but I didn't get to do my own review. So I'm just kind of brushing through it real quick. So then we have Drew and Ralph go to some rock climbing place. That wasn't really much. They were talking about how music is bringing them together, and it really isn't. So we're not even going to stay on that. Moving on. Kenya is doing a meeting with her team. She's talking to Monietta and asking her about doing choreography for her Grambling University event that she'll be doing. I never knew that Monietta was any type of choreographer or dancer or anything. Like, I've only known her to be like a socialite or like, Neo's ex girl or his baby mama or whatever the case may be. Like, I've never known her to be a choreographer. Like, every time on Bravo, I notice whenever they want somebody to come in and do some choreography, it's always Andrea Kelly or Candy's friend that actually does. He was on the show this episode actually as Candace's choreographer. Like, he was the one helping her with her I think his name is Richard. I don't know, but he used to be like helping Candy with dancing and stuff too. So I've only seen him and Andrea Kelly. I haven't really seen anybody talking about Monietta Shaw as a choreographer, but kudos to her. So in the next scene, then we had Candy and Don Juan talking about all the must-haves and things that they got going on that they got to do. Candy has a rap sheet of things that she has to do. And, with all this stuff going on, she, in the midst, of course, has Mama Joyce, her mother, putting her 2 cents in, talking trash about her husband and her family. And, I just really want her mother to stop this stuff. Because at the end of the day, haven't Candy and Todd been married for like 50, 11,000 years? I think they got married a year. I want to say they got married a couple of months after me and my husband. So me and my husband got married in October of 2016. So we'll be married 10 years this year. So I feel like Candy and Todd will be married for 10 years in April. if I'm not mistaken, or it must have been 10 years in April this year. I don't know. But whatever it is, they have been married for quite some time. So I really want Mama Joyce to just let it go. Let it burn like Usher. Let it go, lady. I don't even know what she is looking for at this point. Like Candy and Todd have been together so long that it's time for her to just hang it up. Who else does she think that Candy is supposed to be with at this point? That's what I really want to understand. Who is she out here shopping her daughter around for? Candy is in her 40s. They have two children together and four all together that they are all claiming. Okay? They're both claiming. So what is the problem? I just don't get her mother. I think her mother just needs to settle into her life of being an old grandma. Let your daughter take care of you like she has been and just move on. Why are you still trying to cause a ruckus amongst this family? It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. So moving on, they talk about court where am I at, y'all? Because we gotta breeze through this stuff because I want to get to the new episode so we can get into that. Because there really wasn't much going on in neither one of these episodes, just little bits and pieces of stuff. So then in the next scene, Drew and Ralph have Courtney come over with her baby daddy, which is apparently some old heartthrob from back in the 90s. Girl, first of all, I just don't understand Drew trying to make this whole thing this it's like you're joining in with the Courtney saga. Courtney is just I don't want to see any more of her. I really, really don't. It's like why are we even trying to make this happen? So Courtney comes over because apparently they're running with this whole story of her being Ralph's cousin child. So she is, hanging out with them and you know, uh what's her name? Drew calls Candy on the phone and says, "Hey, yeah, hey Candy, yeah, I just want to tell you about my performance. And yeah, Courtney's over here." Why did you have to call Candy and tell her that Courtney was over your house? What, you don't want to be on Candy's bad side? Is that what it is? I don't understand. Let me get into some of these comments. Michelle says, "Hey Shay Renee, how are you? I am doing good, y'all. I actually have my water here. We're gonna pray for no coughing throughout this video. Okay. We are trying to do better things, okay? But thank you so much for asking. Michelle says Marlo need to lose her peach. She definitely does. I'm so sick and tired of her and her manufactured BS. I don't know what to do. Jesse Lewis says, "Hey Shay Renee, hey, what's going on?" PBE Brown, Pretty Brown Eyes says, "Hey Shay, I'm in the bushes. Hey, how are you? Now, is this which Pretty Brown Eyes is this? Because I know it's two of them now. I don't know what's going on here. But hello, PBE. I'm gonna call you that one because I think the other one is actually spelled Pretty Brown Eyes. But I digress. Michelle says Candy's mother is money hungry. Yes, she absolutely is. And I just really want Mama Joyce don't have to do all of this for her money. Like Candy is going to give her the money. She's going to take care of her. That's her mother. So it really is no point in her having all of this strife and grief with Todd. It doesn't make any sense at this point. Now you're just doing it for fun because it has no purpose behind it. They're going to continue to be together. Period. Okay. Michelle says Candy needs to keep her mother off the show. Absolutely. And I haven't seen her, and I hope she don't come on there at no point. Tawana 908 says, "Living my life like it's golden." Hey everyone, hello, what's going on? It feels good to be live with y'all again. I must say that because child, just doing pre-recorded all the time, that ain't for me. I like actually talking to y'all and having interaction as we talk about the show. So I'm praying this goes well because I'm hoping to get back into some normalcy here because the way this cough had me in the chokehold for the last week or so, child. Ooh, it is a nightmare for somebody that does videos. I'll say that. But we're gonna speak positivity over this whole situation. Moving on. All right, so y'all, Candace, Drew, and Courtney meet up at City Winery. Victor, that's his name. Victor was the one that was doing choreography for Candy before, and I guess he's doing it for Candace now. So he's her performance coach, and he's there giving her direction. And Candace is actually wearing one of Robin's hats. This one right here, same one I'm wearing. So then, oh, before that, we had some little quick scene of Marlo in the car with the boys going to pick up some clothes and them talking about wanting $1,000 shoes and whatever. And then they talk about her nephew Quentin, that she lost to violence and all of that. So I guess that was just a way for them to plug it in so they can talk about all her having an issue with Candy over her nephew passing. So moving on, the ladies arrived at the event to see Drew sing, okay? And everybody gives Marlo pretty much a dry hello because ain't nobody really checking for her to be there. And then Candy basically says she's basically keeping her distance from Marlo because she ain't really trying to be getting into no drama with her. So Drew sing everybody is sitting there, chit-chatting just slightly. Um then Moyetta talks about people smiling in her face, and she's not really with the fake stuff. Because basically, Marlo comes in there. She does this thing where she always tries to come in the room and act like it's nothing going on. Like, you didn't just talk cash money BS about me a couple of hours ago or even a day ago. And then you're coming in here acting like I'm supposed to be the best of friends with you right now. It just doesn't make sense. She just completely forgets about all of her foolishness and thinks that everybody is just supposed to just brush over it and it's okay. No, it's not. That's called crazy. I remember you trying me, and I'm going to continue to remember you trying me until you stop, especially if I got to continue to be in rooms with you. I don't understand Marlo. So everybody sits down. Moneta basically let her know she ain't checking for her. So you tried me in Jamaica. Moneta basically like, you tried me in Jamaica. I'm not letting it happen again. Candy is my friend, and I'm going to basically show her that this is a united front right here. I have way more loyalty to Candy than I will ever have for you. And I'm going to make it very clear and draw the line in the sand, period. So they're sitting there. Sheree ends up not coming because she said she was sick, but she just said she just didn't want to come and see Flop it like with Drew. I'm like, okay, Sheree, you and your dry reads, they are not doing well. Okay. You could have, I'm glad you stayed home because if that was what you was going to do all night, we're good on you. So moving on, Candace and Drew end up performing. Drew ended up singing for like 45 seconds. I don't even think it was 45 seconds. It was way less than that. But you know what? She was excited. The ladies were disappointed that she didn't sing longer because they love Drew's voice and they feel like she deserved more time. And apparently, Candy said in her speak on it that one of the members of 112 actually came out. It was more people that came out to sing with Candace. And one of the members, Q, I think from 112, came out and sang. And he sang a whole song with Candace. But Drew sang for 45 seconds. Uh-huh. Okay. Y'all like it, I love it. Whatever. Drew was just excited to be there. She was happy to be there. Okay. Moving on. So Drew is excited. She gets off the stage. Ralph meets her in the back with flowers, and she says he isn't going to be the only one in their family with a Grammy for long. I'm like, Ralph got a Grammy? For what? Okay. Not for the sleep songs that they say he do, but I digress. So the ladies go in the back after the performance. Kenya says, she asked why was the performance so short, and Drew was basically like, listen, this was her performance. I wasn't trying to come in here and be upstaging anybody or overshadowing anybody. I was just happy to be here and do it. So then Sanya starts talking about BravoCon and how Drew turned up on her. And she said she unfollowed her once she posted her merchandise. And Sanya said no, it was because of the hair flip, not the merchandise. So they go back and forth over that for a little bit. Then they decide to move on. I'm like, please move on, because I don't want to see Drew and Sanya fighting this whole season. This is just enough. So then Drew kind of, at the end, Drew kind of brings up, it seems like Drew didn't even really want to bring it up. It was very evident that production had her bringing up this whole situation at Blaze, Candy's restaurant. So she's like, what, how's everything going on with the incident at Blaze? And then Marlo jumps in. She's like, you mean the pow pow incident? That's what you mean. Y'all know I can't say what it actually is. So she's like, huh? No, I mean the incident. So Marlo is pressed to bring it up, like to talk about it outwardly. And Candy is like, well, it's legal situation. We can't talk about it. So here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I do think that the incident should have been talked about, but I just think that, and I think that Candy probably felt like it was already talked about because you saw where the producer had already brought it up on the previous episode and kind of said, hey, are we going to talk about this or whatever the case may be? But the ladies don't know about that specific incident. So now this was their opportunity to talk about it even further and kind of get the ladies' take on it, if you will. So I get it in that regard. But I just feel like the way that Marlo is kind of bringing it up, it's like, what are you trying to do here? What was she expecting to come from this? Were you hoping to get some negativity? Are you trying to get bad press for Candy's restaurants? Like this is not a situation that is like solely unique to something that's going on at a restaurant in Blaze. There's a lot of things going on in Atlanta right now. Restaurants, gas stations, public places. It's a lot going on down there. People stealing cars left and right, people assaulting people left and right. It's all of these things, right? And this stuff happens all over, unfortunately. So it just feels like Marlo is constantly trying to bring up anything negative where it comes to Candy because you just got a hard on for Candy for some reason to try to make her look bad. And I'm just like, girl, find something else to talk about. Get a life. Talk about your life. Because that scene, that dry little scene that you had in the car with your nephews where you riding around and picking up clothes from Neiman's or wherever you had the guy bring you some clothes outside. Is that that's what you giving this whole season? Buying clothes and them asking for $1,000 tennis shoes? I don't really care about that. Now, do I want to see the glitz and glam of Housewives? Yes. But ma'am, no shade. You live in a townhouse and you're buying all these expensive things. I want to see what's happening with this new house that you're supposed to be building. I want to see that. Because I don't want to see someone that obviously is running up a check, but you not really living glamorous to me. It's not giving glamorous. It's giving credit card, I'm going to run it up all the time. Anybody does that. Regular people do that. So, girl, bye. So after that, this spirals into this whole situation where she's now talking about her nephew and how he's deceased and she's yelling at Drew. She's upset. And now all of a sudden, this is somehow Candy's fault. I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you talking about? And he worked at her restaurant. First of all, she tried to make it seem like it happened at the restaurant and it didn't. You're trying to make this connection. And my thing is, I think that's very disrespectful of Marlo to do that because one, Candy's cousin got hurt in this situation. So you're trying to overshadow. It's not even like she's trying to bring light to what happened to Candy's cousin. You are so busy trying to make Candy look bad and bring up your nephew. You're not even talking about what happened to her cousin. You could care less about what happened to him because you're so busy trying to talk trash about Candy and her restaurant. And my thing is, for y'all to be digging so deep trying to come for Candy like this, Candy employs a lot of people in that area, in low budget areas. She offers people a lot of jobs. So for you to be trying to trash her restaurant, you're not doing anything but harming the community by doing that. And that's messed up. The same place that employed your nephew, okay? And I'm pretty sure your nephew, if he anything like his aunt, he probably had some, God rest his soul. Who knows what his history was? And Candy gave him a chance and gave him an opportunity, gave him a job. You're not thinking about how many other people Candy are doing stuff like that for. But y'all, this whole tantrum with Marlo yelling and screaming about her nephew Quentin and, him working at Candy's restaurant and how she should have done this and she should have done that. It was just teen too much. This is not Candy's fault. God rest your nephew's soul, but this was not the way to bring it up. And then if it happened 2 years ago, why are you feeling so extra about it right now? Unbelievable. But y'all, let's get into the new episode. But foist, I am gonna need y'all to like the video.
Yeah. Work, 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 work. Do me up, you work, 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 work. Do me, dirt, 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 dirt. Tell me about that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, in the girl, we murder, drive me a dessert. Let the devil lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you don't like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody text me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience.
All right, y'all. I had to use that time to blow my nose too. Y'all caught me. All right, y'all. So let's get into episode 4, season 15. The buck stops in Birmingham. Okay. So the episode starts off where Kenya and Monyetta are doing their little dance or whatever, and they're talking about this whole performance that's going to happen in Birmingham. Okay. Again, I had no idea that Monyetta was actually a choreographer of sorts. She discussed how she did some things for Prince. She was in, she had done some backup dancing. She's done a lot of things with some big name people. So kudos to her. She's more than just Neo's baby mama. So in this scene, the guy that Monyetta hooked Kenya up with, he calls on the phone. So Kenya gets all giddy about him calling and whatnot. And they're talking real quick. And apparently he is good in the sack because she says that he was. And I was like, okay, girl, y'all already rolling it, slapping shoes. Okay, y'all keep it going. Do what you got to do, girl. So then she talks about her divorce and how she's been trying to get divorced since 2019. And it's just about time for her to move on at this point. So then they get into the Kenya Moore hair care production that she's going to be putting on for Grambling University, and how she wants it to really highlight her products and things. And, you know, this is just a good opportunity for her and her brand. And I'm excited to see how this goes. So in the next scene, we have Sanya, her mom, and her sister sitting at the table. What is her sister's name, y'all? Somebody tell me in the comments, because I don't know what this lady's name is. Hold on. Let me see if they highlight her name here on the screen. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know, but Shanzi, I think that's her name. Cherie. So she's sitting there, Sanya is sitting there talking to her mother and Sherry, her sister or whatever. And she basically has a conversation with them rather quickly. I don't know why Sanya felt like she needed to just kind of throw it in there real quick. And then that was just going to blow over. But she basically was telling her that they've all been living together and it's time for them to move on. Like Ross wants them to pretty much live together as a family, just their family unit. And basically he wants everybody else to get the hell on. So, apparently Sherry's husband is working for Sanya. Sherry is working for Sanya. Everybody in this family is working for Sanya. And I don't think that they appreciate her. I really don't. And it has to be tough being the one that is kind of like putting your family on, and then it seems like they don't appreciate it. And my thing is, I get it. Sherry is like, Sanya doesn't respect boundaries where it comes to her and her husband. Like, she's like, Sanya always, she's like, oh, you want us to move out, but you leave when do whatever you want because you know that we're here to take care of Deuce, her son. And that was one of Sanya's drawbacks with wanting to have another kid, because she did feel like Ross wasn't really there a lot because he was working and doing things. So that's one of the things that she's also scared about with having another kid, because she's like, okay, if I have another child and my family isn't here, like she really does lean on her family for a lot of support where it comes to her son. But on the flip side, it's like, Y'all didn't go, the family didn't go out and find other forms of employment. So while y'all sitting there complaining about saying you're requiring so much of y'all, you can't require something of somebody that got their own damn job. So Sherry, you sitting up here complaining about, her wanting y'all to go on and move out and get your own place. What's the problem? You should be happy. Because if she's pissing you off this much, or you feel like she's asking your husband to do too much, and you feel like you doing too much to support her, and you ain't really getting it back, which I feel like if you living in this house and you not paying no bills and you are getting a check, obviously you're getting something out of this whole situation. I don't understand her sister. Her sister has like a chip on her shoulder that she needs to knock off. And my thing is, what were they doing? Why did they even agree to move into this house with Sanya if they had such a big problem with it? I don't get it. If y'all life was so good before, why would you even agree to do this? So obviously this was a situation that was set up to help you, your husband, and your children too. And the mother is supposed to be Sanya's manager or whatever. I didn't like how her mother was like snickering and sniffering over there with Sherry, but then she's on Sanya's side at the same time. I'm like, nah, you're a little two-faced, mother. Mm-hmm. You're a little two-faced over there. So I just think that the family need to go on and go their separate ways. Sherry need to move on. Get her and her husband need to get their own place. She gonna really see that the husband ain't really doing Jack. He ain't doing nothing because he was supposed to be trying to get into real estate. Why don't he sell y'all a house? He need to be out here looking for a house for y'all. That's what he need to be doing if he has his real estate license at this point. So why isn't he out here looking for a home for y'all to live in? Why isn't he out here utilizing his license? Yet he's doing gopher lists for Sanya. But eventually, I think he quit or something like that in this episode too. So I'm like, obviously, y'all need to figure out how to make some money between the two of y'all because it seemed like both of y'all are sabotaging yourselves. So moving on, in the next scene, we have Marlo playing dress up, child. I guess she's doing costumes with the boys or whatever. And then she goes into talking about Candy again. Her sister comes to do the photo shoot with them, and Courtney is there, which I don't know why. Like, Courtney claims to be the Olivia. She could be the Olivia Pope. Girl, I am so sick and tired of Courtney. So Marlo goes into the whole situation with her nephew. Okay. So she's telling Courtney and her sister, and she's trying to make it seem like her family just can't stand Candy over this whole situation. And how, this whole the situation with people trying to rob her house, she wants to be able to bear arms. So she's trying to get her record expunged so that she can be able to have a license to carry. So now it's Candy's fault too that she can't get her record. She trying to get her record expunged, and Candy never helped her get her record expunged. Why? Why is it Candy's responsibility to help you do that? Why? Why is this Candy's responsibility, Marlo? You and Candy are not friends like that. Why isn't Sheree helping you get your record expunged? Huh? Why isn't Sanya helping you get your record expunged? Hell, why Nene ain't helping you get your record expunged? Those are your friends. So why is it Candy's fault? Get your own record expunged. You did it. Then she keeps on talking about her family can't stand Candy. Your mother was basically groveling at Candy's feet when she met her. So what are you talking about? Your family doesn't like Candy. You the only one bringing up old stuff, trying to have an issue with Candy. This, you know what, Bravo? I don't know if it's just not enough housewives running around Atlanta, but I'm gonna need y'all to get it together because this right here is just a load of BS. It's given very fake and phony. And Marlo to have all of these reactions and to be so upset over all this stuff with her nephew 2 years later, and now it's Candy's fault. It it's not given. It's not. I'm really over it, and I don't want to see. I want Marlo to not be able to say Candy's name for the rest of the season. I really don't, because at this point, it's a waste of our time. Marlo has nothing to talk about. What is going on with you? Talk to your. I would have loved to see in this moment her having a conversation with her sister that was there, that she dumped them boys on, and asking her how does she feel about the time that she had the boys. How is their relationship surviving after that? How does she feel about her older sister dumping her nephews off on her, and she already has children and her and her husband work a full-time job? How does she feel about that? That's what I want to see. Not all of this conjured up manufactured BS where now it's Candy's fault that your life isn't going where you want it to go. You and Candy are not friends. Stop it. We're not buying it. Okay? Michelle says Marlo is a fraud. What do you know about what do you know about Marlo anyway? We don't know anything about Marlo at this point. It's actually ridiculous. She should be utilizing this time to talk more about what's going on with her. Michelle says Marlo is jealous of everyone on the show. She is, but for some reason she's got this serious hard on for Candy that's silly. Michelle says, I didn't know she was with Neo. Yep, she has her twins, a set of twins. It was a whole scandal with Neo. Girl, you got to go and look it up. But Neo, they had twins, and he said, you know what? We don't want to have let's not have any more children. Go ahead. And he convinced her to get her tubes tied and burnt so that she wouldn't be able to have any more children. And that would just be it. They're twins. That would be all they have. And he ended up, leaving her and getting with his now ex-wife and having 3 children with her. So there's that. That was just a whole situation with that. So y'all, in the next scene, we have Shay going to the doctor, and they try to play us and make it seem like she was getting some daggone sonogram as if she was pregnant. She's going through menopause, and she's talking about some of her options as to, how she can stop. She's having excessive bleeding, and that's just really messing her up in the bedroom. She's talking about all of this stuff that she don't want to do because she don't want to mess up being able to do the 2 things she loves, which is work out and get down and bed dance. Okay. So she's apparently, trying to explore whatever options she can explore so that she can still get down with Martell, which I don't bit more believe at this point. I don't think they're doing anything because Martell is not really even acting like he's doing anything with her. And somebody in my comments said that him and Shay, he said on the show that him and Shay are not even doing anything. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Y'all acting like y'all humping up a storm when y'all see each other on the Housewives and when she came on your show. So you just never know with the both of them. It just seemed like that's just a fake story, and I'm just over it at this point. And apparently, allegedly, they done broke up. So, child, who knows? Virgo Energy says no one knows anything about Marlo, so I don't know where she gets the nerve to open her gullet and say Candy hide stuff. Go away, Marlo. Right. And then she was like, Candy don't do nothing for nobody. I'm like, girl, what? What are you talking about? What do you do for anybody besides get on their nerves and piss them off? I'm really at a loss for words for her. So y'all, in the next scene, because moving on, Shay, I hope your health goes well. I don't know if this lady was auditioning for Married to Medicine or what, but this whole scene we could have, unless you're going to go into ways for women to identify early menopause and kind of make it educational, I didn't really know why we needed this whole scene anyway. Moving on, as we know damn well Shay ain't pregnant. And she ain't about to be navigating around different ways to ditch her getting a hysterectomy so that she can be humping on Martell. We know that ain't damn true. Virgo Energy says she must be having sex with Hotel Shadow because according to him and Marcel, they haven't had anything in 8 months. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, what is really behind this? Like, are y'all just faking the funk still? Even though we know that the show is recorded a year ahead, right? So, but she's acting like they're humping it up. I don't know, but who knows? But y'all, in the next scene, we had Sanya going to get, I guess she's doing some type of photo shoot or whatever. And her mom and dad are there. So she tells them that their son-in-law, her sister's husband, has now quit. Okay. And the mother even was like, you know what? Yeah, he wasn't really pulling his weight anyway. He wasn't answering emails like he was supposed to. So, I don't even know what's going on with that. But the dad was like, if I need to step up and help too, why I will do that. And she was like, Dad, you don't even answer emails and stuff like you supposed to. So you ain't about to help me do nothing. But thank you. Thank you, Dad. And she was just like, so Sanya was just expressing that she feels bad because she didn't want to hurt her sister's feelings by telling her what Ross said. But the conversation needed to be had. She was like, maybe I didn't present it well, which you didn't. You said it like you kind of slid it in the conversation, like, oh yeah, and Ross, he wants us to be on our own. He wants it to just be us. And I'm like, girl, you could have had that conversation in a better manner for your sister. Now, again, I don't feel like your sister should have gotten the attitude that she got about the whole situation, but it is what it is. You had to have the conversation, and eventually they needed to move out anyway. So why even hold off and wait to talk about it? Just get it over with. And again, I didn't like how the mother was kind of just like playing both sides. Like she was smirking with the sister, but then she's like on Sanya's side about the whole situation with the husband. So, you know what? At this point, I just want the sister to just go on and move out and do her own thing. Because she didn't even show up to the shoot that Sanya was doing. And she was supposed to do her hair. And I'm like, that's very unprofessional. Whether that's your sister or not, Sanya is paying you. So you look very unprofessional not showing up to do her hair. So sometimes it's just best to not even deal with family at this point because I like to be able to have a discussion with somebody, tell them how I really feel without having a whole bunch of, having to massage your feelings behind it. And a lot of times as a family member, you find yourself doing that where you feel like I don't want to hurt your feelings, but this is what I need. Or somebody's not performing the way that you want them to. You kind of put a little zhuzh on it because it's your family member. When it's not your family member, no love lost or whatever. You can just move on. So, yeah, saying you just move on from your family because they don't appreciate you anyway, girl. Gwendolyn Strickland says, Hey, Shay, your skin is so pretty. I'm tired of Marlo and Kenya. Oh, thank you so much, Gwendolyn. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm tired of Marlo. I don't know about Kenya, but I think Kenya is sick and tired of Marlo for sure. Michelle says, Sheree pregnant. Girl, no, she ain't pregnant. She's going through menopause. They just tried to make it seem like she was pregnant by giving her a sonogram and wasn't nothing in there. Virgo Energy says, you and me both at Gwendolyn Strickland. I keep trying with Kenya, but she is so disrespectful and dismissive to her staff. I just can't. Marlo, I am done. Child, I agree with the Marlo part. Marlo is absolutely insane. Michelle says, Gwendolyn Strickland, yes, Shay's skin is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate you all. That's that 7th Avenue glow, y'all. I use it every single day. Demetria Glenn says, Candy tried to get Marlo her own show, and Funky Geneva said that Marlo messed it up. Yeah, and he also said that they wasn't getting paid a whole lot of money. But, I mean, that was a different time period. But still, the fact that somebody went out of their way to get you a show, that could have been a starting ground for her. And who knows, that show could have blown up and she could have been making a lot more money. So, child, you just never know. People are so ungrateful. It's just ridiculous. So then we have a quick scene where Kenya has her assistant, or I guess nanny, or whatever the case may be, where Brooklyn is going to be coming to Birmingham because she's about to rally up all the ladies and get on a bus to go to Birmingham, and she's going to do this Grambling University performance. So, of course, Brooklyn goes everywhere with her because she's her primary caretaker. And she was talking to her assistant, telling her she wants her to share her location and things like that, so she can know where she is at all times, because she gonna have her baby, and you got to. If I'm entrusting you with my child, this is my prized possession. I got to make sure I know where you at. And just a side note, homegirl looked like she kind of was giving me Kylie Jenner before Botox and the face and in the booty enhancements. She looked like the real Kylie Jenner. Please stand up. Let me know in the comments if y'all thought the same thing. So moving on, in the next scene, all of the ladies except Candy, of course, because Candy had an event to do. She is she's doing something. She couldn't come. So all the ladies arrive at Sheree's house because I guess Kenya's driveway is a little janky. So everybody was going to meet at Sheree's house to get on the bus to go to this performance. Okay. So Drew doesn't go because everybody in her house is sick. So we ain't even seen Drew this daggone episode. So everybody is on the bus and they're talking and whatnot, and parent and sharing stories, and it comes up about different sexual things that they're doing and eating groceries, tossing salads, things of that nature. I'm like, why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about that? So, but these women want to act like prudes, like they ain't never done certain things. So, they were talking about Candy and how she must have did it or whatever. And Candy was like, on her speak on it, she said, well, I'm tired of these women talking about these women being prudes or whatever. Like, basically, they act like they don't do nothing. I don't know if they were necessarily talking about Candy or not, but I know Candy talked about it in her speak on it. But anyway, moving on, they get off the bus and they go to the dance studio. So they're practicing this dance of how she's going to come out. Monyetta has helped to do the choreography for this. So they're all, I guess, auditioning to be a part of the show or whatever the case may be. So Marlo actually could move a little bit. I couldn't believe it. I was like, interesting. And what is this manufactured six pack that she has? How many surgeries did she have to do that? Because we know Marlo does not want to exercise at all. She don't even wants to sweat. Okay. So the ladies are dancing and whatnot and auditioning for it to be a part of this whole thing with Kenya. Okay. Sanya did a good job too. She didn't really have no butt to move around. I'm kind of revisiting the scenes with y'all. So this scene was actually a little too long for me, if you ask me. So they all go out to eat afterwards, and then there's a scene where they are just talking about nothing, y'all. This was just a whole bunch of filler stuff. I don't even know who this is on the phone. Hold on, y'all. They were talking about Courtney's ex, and I guess Kenya basically being in a movie with him. I think they did the movie Twa together. This whole scene was just really a waste of time. So moving on, they all get together to go to have drinks after the event. Okay. So before that, they're talking about, because y'all, I don't even really remember what happened in this scene. That's why I'm trying to look through it to see if there's anything important that really happened. Because, of course, Marlo goes into talking about the whole situation with her nephew again and trying to get people on her side. And it's just like, girl, let it go. So the girls get dressed to go and have drinks that night. The event hasn't happened yet. The Grambling University thing hasn't happened yet. So they all go and have drinks. They're on the bus and they're making too much of a scene at the place because Marlo has a bottle delivered to them while they're there. And the people are like, y'all got to get up out of here because y'all drawing too much attention to yourselves. We don't like it. So they're making a whole scene, doing a team entirely too much. Marlo getting loud and doing the most. So they end up leaving. So Kenya goes back to her room like she normally does because her daughter is there. And they all go banging on Kenya's door making noise at the hotel. So Marlo does the most, kicking the door in and all this, that, and the third. And Kenya opens the door, and I'm like, Kenya, do you not have a shirt on? Like, what's going on? You just got your bra on? I don't understand. But she answers the door, and she's like, my daughter is in here. What is wrong with you, or whatever? And Marlo is like, girl, please, who cares? And I'm just like, her kid is in there. It's late at night, obviously. My thing is with Marlo, if you want to be the ringleader of the group so bad, and y'all always complaining about Kenya not being a part of stuff, or Kenya leaving early, or Kenya having to go and do this with her daughter, why didn't y'all go out and have y'all own fun? Like, y'all could have went out and experienced Birmingham. Hell, Sheree, you was Sheree? Yeah, Sheree was there. Sheree, you could have had Martell come and y'all could have filmed. Y'all could have took over. You could have had Martell come and show y'all around Alabama, and it could have been about y'all that night. Or Marlo, y'all could have did something. Like, y'all could have went to the club. Y'all could have done something to draw attention to y'all, and then Kenya didn't even have to be a part of it at all. You could have took over the scene. But yet you are coming to do all this BS. It was just a waste of my time. I really didn't understand it all. Virgo Energy says, but both shows were being recorded at the same time, so the disconnect in narrative in both stories on both shows showing simultaneously is stupid. Yeah, I just think that both, like, the chemistry isn't there, period. Like, that's just undeniable. They are not faking it too good for any of us viewers, really. Michelle says, Demetria Glenn, I remember that. Virgo Energy says, Sanya is spoiled and self-centered, and her sister is entitled, and her husband is lazy. I agree. Absolutely. Her husband need to get a damn job. He need to do something. Miss B is in the building. What's up? What's up? Miss B says, hey, sis, I'm late. Well, no, you're not. You are here, and that's all that matters. Miss B says, I'm going to need them to just bring back all the original Housewives of Atlanta, because I understood all their crazy and conflicts. Yeah, I would love to see the originals come back. I actually would love to see Nene come back on the show, honestly. Even though she has done team entirely too much. I don't know. I don't think that'll ever happen. But, you know, it is what it is. But, y'all, that's really all that happened in this episode. Marlo was just pretty much trying to do more incriminating of Candy. Candy wasn't here to defend her daggone self. And, of course, you know, Monyetta and Kenya were there to do their best to try to defend her. But at the end of the day, Marlo is going to be doing this for the rest of the season from what I see. And I'm just over it. I really want Marlo to find another way, because this is just not it. It's not given. We don't want to see this for a whole season. I really want them to just go ahead and get rid of Marlo, because at this point, she's a waste of space and storyline. Shan says they definitely need a reboot for sure. Demetria Glenn says it wasn't Grambling State University. The Magic City Classic is a rivalry game between Alabama A&M University and Alabama State University for the past 81 years. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know why I thought they said Grambling. But, okay, thank you for correcting me, because I certainly don't want to be saying no wrong stuff now. But, yes. So, it was the Magic City Classic and the rivalry between Alabama A&M University game that they were going to be performing at. Okay, so I just want to make that very clear. I screwed the pooch earlier when I said Grambling University. Shan, Demetria, Glenn, Marlo turned down that show on TV1. I believe Carlos and Todd were pitching it too. Yeah, they were. And so they were supposed to be, I thought it was on WeTV. That's what I thought it was on. But wherever it was, she could have had her own show, and she decided not to do that so that she could remain a friend of on the Housewives. But according to her, she was making more money being a friend than she was having her own show, which in the grand scheme of things, the initial payout may have been lower, but the glow up would have been way better for her to have her own show, because if the show went well, she could have renegotiated her contract and got more money. But, you know, I guess people don't think business like Candy, like, you know, Candy does. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that watches this show too. Y'all, I am trying to get more shows in the arsenal. I will be talking about Summer House soon. The Summer House, and then we'll be talking about the Summer House Martha's Vineyard. At later on today as well. I want y'all to see more content. I like watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I don't want that to be the only thing that y'all come and watch my videos for. So let's chat about some other stuff. I'm trying to get into the algorithm for some of these other shows now that I'm coming back out and doing more videos. So y'all help a sister out, share my videos with other people that are watching some of these different shows. I am really just trying to make it do what it do. Okay. So yeah, y'all, I will be back on in another 30 minutes to talk about Summer House, and then I'll be back on after that to talk about Summer House Martha's Vineyard episode 1 through 4. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.